My name is Alex Caserta. I recently retired from a 34-year career as a visual arts instructor in order to embark on a new adventure. As a photographer, my goal is to reveal historical information while shedding new light on the people and places that sustain our rich cultural heritage. This is an opportunity for us to discover the farms, food, and flavors of our beautiful state. This is a time for us to explore the diverse wonders in our own backyard.
This is Harvesting Rhode Island.
I'm here in a very special place called Lucky Foot Ranch, and I'm here with Matt Thibodeau, and we're kind of off to the side of the field here. How many acres do you have, Matt?
It's about 5 acres in total, but we're probably producing on about 3.5 to 4 this season.
Okay, and you don't come from an actual farming background, but you've been growing since you were young.
Well, I didn't really get into it much till after high school. My father's always had a garden growing up, but I never really had much interest in it until I was about 18 or 19. 18 or 19.
Mm-hmm. And then you you just decided to stay and create this incredible space that you have over here with
Thank you.
So much growing. It's just unbelievable, the list you gave me of vegetables and different things. You're experimenting with sunflowers this year.
Yep.
Some for cutting and some for getting the seed and processing.
Seed production, yep.
Yeah. You work with basically a small crew yourself, your father?
Yeah, we're pretty much a bare bones crew over here. It's me, my father helps me on nights and on the weekends, and then I have 1 or 2 guys on for the midsummer probably through the beginning of fall. At
one time when your father was more active in the business, he was doing rabbitry here?
Yes. The name of the farm is, of course, Lucky Foot Ranch. Now, the name came from my father's old business back in the 70s and 80s, I believe, maybe a little bit into the 90s, where he used to raise cattle and rabbits. So it was originally Lucky Foot Ranch and Rabbitry. So, the name comes from Lucky Foot, like a lucky rabbit's foot.
And the rabbits were used to sell locally?
The rabbits, we didn't sell the rabbits directly, except maybe if somebody wanted like a live rabbit as like a pet or something.
Yep.
But every Friday my father would bring up a load of rabbits to Federal Hill, to the slaughterhouse up there. I'm not really sure what happened to them after that.
Oh, okay.
I don't believe they came back to us. I believe my father just wholesaled them, and then they went wherever.
But they sold quite a bit. You said they brought quite a few up there.
If it was 200-300 a week, yeah.
That's unbelievable.
That's quite a few.
That's a lot of rabbit.
It is quite a few rabbits.
Okay. How do you feel about the way of life that you've created for yourself, being a farmer?
Honestly, you can't beat it. You get great food, you get sunshine, fresh air all the time. You're outside a little bit. Sure, you might get a little hot and sweaty, but it's all part of a day's work.
I'm going to ask you to tell the audience the different types and the large variety of what you grow here, because I know you sell at a farmer's market. So what do you have that you have available for the farmer's market?
Well, we do 5 farmers markets during the week, and once the season really gets rolling, probably the next week or 2 here, and we're going to have the farm stand open at the farm here in North Kingstown. But our products include a wide selection of tomatoes. We're doing about 3 dozen different varieties this year, including hybrid tomatoes, heirloom tomatoes, and a lot of cherry tomatoes. That's one of our big things there. We do a lot of beans. We do summer squashes, winter squashes, cucumbers, peppers, eggplant, all kinds of roots. We do radishes, turnips, beets. We do brassicas like broccoli, cabbage, kale, etc.
Yeah, fresh garlic.
We do lots and lots of garlic, that's for sure.
Yeah, and you have watermelon.
Yep, my favorite.
Grow. Yeah.
Love me some watermelon. 4 different types.
4 types of watermelon.
That's right.
And you have honey that you deal with?
We do have honey. We currently have 4 beehives. We're hoping to move up to another 8 or 9, maybe get to at least a dozen and a half beehives in the next few years.
Well, maybe we can take a walk around the farmland and you can point out some of the things that you have growing here.
Oh, absolutely.
Great. we have growing over here?
This is a husk cherry. It's known by many names. Like I said, I call it a husk cherry. Other people call it a Cape gooseberry. They call it a ground tomato, ground cherry. There's all kinds of names for it, but no, a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. They're in the tomato family. They're closely related to a tomatillo. That one's not overly ripe. Let's find a nice golden one here.
This is actually growing in a husk.
Yeah, it's like a tomatillo. Has a husk around it, but it's a nice golden berry. They're delicious, very sweet. Very sweet. I'm a big fan of these myself.
And how large will these get?
The plants will get, as you can kind of see with ones down here, they can get, well, anywhere between this tall, they can get very tall if they have weeds to compete with.
Okay.
But they're more of a lower sprawling plant.
Okay, and the berry itself, will it get any larger than?
The biggest berry I've ever seen is maybe about that big,
oh, okay.
maybe 3/4 of an inch, but that's kind of a rarity. They're usually between 3 to 5/8.
And what would people use these in for food preparation?
You can make a jam or a jelly out of them, or...
Oh, yeah, I would imagine any type of gourmet chefs would love to have something like this.
Oh, absolutely. I've sold big bags of these to chefs before.
All right, Matt, we're in the green bean patch over here. And you can see these beans are just incredible.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, this is one of the types we have is the green beans.
Yeah.
These are slightly larger than the size we usually like to pick, but they're still plenty good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable. And how much do you have planted here?
This is just one planting. We have probably about 1,600 feet in this one planting, and we plant this about, say, 6 to 7 times every season.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So it's coming up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand you're not certified organic.
Right.
But you practice?
Yeah, but for all intents and purposes, we adhere to pretty much all of the guidelines, although we just don't go through with all the paperwork.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And in terms of fertilizers and stuff like that, do you do much of that or just what's necessary?
Yeah, well, that would be part of it, is the fertilizers.
Yeah.
You know, we use all organic fertilizers. If we ever have to spray, which we try to avoid, they're always OMRI approved, which is an organic certifier.
Okay. Yeah, because these beans are incredibly healthy looking.
Yeah, well, it's mostly weeds in this patch, but the beans themselves are doing very well.
Matt, we have 2 different types of kale here.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain the difference?
Well, this is what most people are used to finding in like supermarkets and stuff. This is a curly variety, of course. We've been growing this type for years. While this type here, this is more of the dinosaur type. All this particular variety is called Black Magic. We've been growing this for 2 years now, and it's actually doing phenomenal this year, as you can well see. And usually we have another 2 to 3 varieties. Because I like to trial different ones, different colors, different textures.
People use this in what type of food preparation?
Kale is actually very versatile. A lot of people like to do it in smoothies. That's like a big thing nowadays. It's great in soups. You can use it in a stir fry. You can eat it raw if you like. You can make kale chips, which is something I actually enjoy. I don't get to make them as much as I would like, but it is definitely something I still enjoy.
Matt, do we want to talk a little bit about the challenges you have with the lack of rain that we've had this year?
We actually have had some issues with lack of rain this year because, of course, everything needs water to live. So when you get a drought, things they really slow down. They get really uneven ripening times. And then, like in the case of, say, the tomatoes, if you get a really long season of drought, not really a lot of rain, and then you do get a lot of rain, the plants will soak that up really quick, and then a lot of the fruits can split. So you have a lot of spoilage, unfortunately. But we do have our irrigation systems, as you can see here, these black lines. This is all of our drip irrigation, which we have on pretty much all of our rows, although for some things, such as the beans, we like to use sprinklers just because it's not as feasible to run that many lines in such a small area. And
I'm assuming you already harvested through the rows here that are empty, or you have new plantings in here?
Well, the kale, like I said, the kale grows all year. We just kind of put them in the spring, and then we harvest them right through until the end of the season. And since the plants get very, very big, we use the tractor to weed in between all of the rows. And I found it in years past that it's kind of a pain. It's actually impossible to get over the kale when it's fully grown with the tractor. So I put them a space apart so we can get the tractor in between them.
Okay. And when you cut this, I'm assuming you cut it from the very bottom?
Yes, when we harvest the kale, we start from the bottom and we pull off leaves from down here, and then we bunch them together. That's how they're sold. And then as you go, the plant will grow up and up.
Okay.
And as you're pulling the leaves on the bottom, you get to the end of the season, the plants are about this tall. It looks like a little palm tree. It's like a big, a bunch of leaves at the top, and then there's a stalk going straight to the ground.
What do we have growing over here, Matt?
Well, over here we have my absolute favorite. This is the watermelon. And we also have a little bit of cantaloupe over here as well, which I'm not too crazy about, but of course, it's not all about me.
A lot of these watermelons will grow to full size. Some of them will grow to a smaller size.
Yes. Yeah, depending on the variety, but usually they grow to just about full size. If you get like bad pollination or something, you might get one that's kind of stunted on one side or maybe a little undersized, but usually our watermelons do absolutely fantastic here.
And how many will a field like this size produce?
Not enough, I'll tell you that.
No. How long in the season will these continue to grow?
Watermelons, they get planted middle of May through maybe the middle of June, and then they grow all the way until mid-September, and they start producing end of August usually.
And the one particular type of variety doesn't produce more than another particular type?
Not that I've noticed, but it's kind of tough to tell because all the vines kind of grow together, and because in a few weeks this will just be a sea of green. There will be all the plants grown together, so it's really tough to tell what one plant on its own would produce.
Yeah, and I can see where the tractor's been through here to turn the weeds over.
Yep. Yeah, we grow them this far apart, so one, the tractor can get down to weed in between them, and then also it gives them room enough to grow because the plants sprawl out quite a bit.
Matt, what do we have here for different types of tomatoes?
Now, on our right, these are most of our hybrids. You have your early girls, you have your jet stars. They're pretty much your standards, like 6 to 8 ounce red tomatoes that you find in the supermarket more often than not. Then on this side over here, we have all of our heirloom tomatoes. You got like your Cherokee purples, you got your brandywines, your peach tomatoes, you got your great whites, and your pineapples, which are my personal favorite. Now those are mostly on this side, but then once you get a little further out, you come to our cherry tomatoes, which we have probably the largest diversity of them. We have, we got red tomatoes, we got yellow tomatoes, we got orange tomatoes, we got striped tomatoes, we got purple tomatoes. We got different shapes, different flavors, different textures, almost every kind of tomato you can imagine, because tomatoes are our specialty here.
They're very, very healthy looking, and you've got quite a few tomatoes on the vines.
Oh, absolutely. It's turned out to be a fantastic tomato year. Might be a little dry now, but it was a really great start to the year. Good amount of rain, and of course, good varieties. And then also, fertilizing them every week is, of course, integral to having a good tomato crop. But they're all fantastic.
Very decorative.
Oh, absolutely. It's a feast for the eyes as well as the palate, as I like to say.
I'm at Confreda Farms in Cranston, Rhode Island today. I'm here with the owner, Vinny Confreda, and he's going to give us an idea about what they do here at the farm. You have 2 properties. You have one large area in Warwick, Rhode Island, and you have 14 greenhouses there. Then you have another 14 greenhouses here, and a lot of what you supply here in this store comes from Warwick as well as what you're growing on this location, right?
That's correct, yeah. Our Warwick location's our original homestead where my grandpa started, and A lot of the different product, the flowers, actually all the flowers, bedding plants are all done at our Warwick location, and all the vegetable plants are done at the Cranston location here.
And you have 3 sons now who are also getting into the business with you, which will be 4th generation. Can you tell me something about how you got started with this and who in the family got started?
Actually, my grandparents started the business back in 1922. They're immigrants from Italy. They moved in and started a farm. We had vegetable farms at the time. We still do, of course. Vegetables, animals, livestock, and vineyards, orchards. That was a tradition when from Italy, you'd take everything here with you. And since 1922, as you see, we've actually grown a lot. It went from my grandparents to my father and my uncle. They brought it to another level, worked very hard through their generation, and now I've taken over and brought it to another level. We're running multiple locations, added the retail, bakery shop to the store itself, and we take great pride because everything we do is grown between our 2 farms.
How many acres in Warwick and how many acres would you say in Cranston?
We're probably farming in Warwick, probably close to 80 acres still in Warwick. And in Cranston, we're probably farming, I say, somewhere around 300.
And your signature crop is?
My signature crop is sweet corn, and
Sweet corn.
we're very proud of it. We mechanical harvest, and I'm the only one that run the harvester because I'm very, very particular on it. My boy says, you should teach us how to run it. And I says, something I'm fussy. He says, well, we could do a good job with it, but maybe I just don't want to let go.
Yeah, and you're up at what time in the field on that machine?
Actually, I'm here every morning at 2 a.m. I try to get into the field by 2:30, and I like picking our sweet corn in the dock before the sun actually does hit it. Because when the sun hits it, when you harvest it, I think it takes a little bit away from the taste. The food changes. It's not the same as, it's something like, I can pick a fruit out in the field and I'll eat it raw, and people say, you're eating this raw. But the taste is tremendous. And growing up on the farm, you value the treasure of those tastes.
You notice the difference.
Yes.
You acquire that taste.
People know that they can come here, they can be here at 6 o'clock in the morning, picking up for their local stores and have that fresh product that was picked this morning. Yeah, I think it's very important, a lot of the people out there, the consumer today is really willing to help the local farmer. They want to be able to know and have their children know where the product is coming from. Because I can remember when I grew up as a child, which felt like yesterday, children I was going to school with, they didn't know what a farm was. They didn't really know, you ask them, where's the milk come from? They says a refrigerator, where do you get a tomato? From the store. They wouldn't say farm, but I think we're educating the children coming today that they know how to say milk comes from a cow. The tomato comes from a farm. So I think the whole revolution of farming and sustainability is actually changing. Now we're producing more pounds per acre than we did 25 to 30 years ago because the cost of producing a product is so expensive today. But the consumer, they're paying more money in the market, but not compared to other products. You take like a car back in the 70s, you can buy a nice car for $5,000. Today it costs you $30,000 to $40,000. Today you still can go in the supermarket in season and buy a pound of tomatoes for $2 to $3. Back in the 70s, it was still $2.
Yeah, so you're growing tomatoes, you're growing corn, you're growing cucumbers, peas, peppers, eggplant.
Yeah, almost, as far as our retail store, almost everything in there is actually grown on the farm. We even grow onions.
Onions. Okay. If you look around, you have quite a few baskets filled with flowers right now. And do you have more that you'll be bringing in over the next month?
Oh yeah, we actually will have a supply right through the summer, right up through fall of hanging pots. Like I said, we start the first ones back in January, and we continuously plant them. As we open up a greenhouse, we're filling that greenhouse up with pots. We put the vegetables and bedding plants down below, and all the hanging plants that hang from the air, just like you see suspended here.
here is, I'm assuming peppers?
Yeah, these are all peppers, our field production.
And is it a particular type of pepper that's growing here?
Yeah, actually this is a specialty variety we use in the field. It's called a continuous set. So the more you keep picking the pepper off, the more it'll keep growing. And this is a lot of some of the varieties we use in our garden center. Because some of the peppers traditionally would, you pick them once and that's it. But these here will continue to
grow.
To grow.
How tall will these get?
These will probably grow up. Right now you can see they're only about 6 inches.
Yeah.
But when they're in the field, they'll probably be up good 18 to 24 inches. And actually these will all go on raised beds. We use trickle irrigation.
So these are green peppers, or do we have any red peppers growing in here?
Actually, these are all green peppers, and traditionally, believe it or not, all green peppers turn red. I shouldn't say that. Some turn yellow, some turn purple.
Oh.
But these peppers here will all turn red. That's actually when the pepper is actually ripe, when it's red. But they're all start off green.
Yeah.
But it depends how, when they're fully matured, you either have a green pepper, a red pepper, or a yellow pepper, or orange.
I know they have the Holland peppers. I don't know how they differ from these.
Well, basically, they call the Holland peppers because it's from Holland. When you get these peppers, when you buy them from the local stores, you're getting fresh and nutrition and the whole bit. Where the myth of Holland, they're pretty, they look nice, they don't have the flavor, nor do they have that type of nutrition that we have locally.
So as these turn red or another color, they'll become sweeter?
Right. In other words, the pepper, when it's ripe, is the sweetest. So when it turns red or it turns yellow or orange, whatever color it will turn, that's when it's ripe. But the green pepper is nice and sweet too. Traditionally, you sell most of them green, and the ones that get left behind actually turn red. Then you sell them out as a red pepper.
Then how large will these peppers actually grow in terms of the pepper itself?
These will develop into what they call a 4-lobe pepper, and these could be anywhere from 3-inch to 4-inch in diameter, and some could get as much as 5 to 6 inches in diameter.
So these go in one at a time?
These will go in one at a time.
That's a lot of work.
Yes, a lot of work. Actually, most of all the farming is what we call hand labor and stoop labor. A lot of work. People look at their garden and they see how much work it is to plant a garden. Imagine putting 400,000 peppers into a field.
That's unbelievable.
These will be all on raised beds, all trickle irrigation. And we actually do tissue samples every 2 weeks of the pepper, and that will determine the nutrients that we need. This way we're not overfeeding or underfeeding.
Oh.
So whatever nutrients we add to the water, the plant will actually use that nutrient. Nothing is going to waste.
It's very interesting.
There's actually, farming today is almost a science. Actually, I shouldn't say almost, it is a science.
This is science. One of the things we talked about earlier, you have 3 sons, and you've been doing this business, you grew up doing this business, you're still doing it. It seems to be something that's a bit of tradition with your family. And do you find that important in terms of passing that tradition on to your sons, and how are they responding to that?
Actually, I'm very proud of my 3 boys. They've actually really taken a hold. They went to college, and now they're back on the farm. Actually, my last one's going to be graduating this year, and in between college, he's here. And they love the land, they love the farm, and I'm very proud. I'm very fortunate, not just as a father, but as a business owner. Because farming today is, like everybody knows, it's a business. And something you built a lifetime and your family's built a lifetime of. And to keep that tradition going is very, very special. I'm actually getting broken up a little bit now because that's how proud I am of my boys.
Nice. Now, your father is still up on the tractor?
My father's still on the tractor. Matter of fact, if he's still old school, if he knew I was taking a nice sunny day like this to talk to you, I would get hell for it. So
how old is he?
He's 87 years old.
87 and riding the tractor still.
He's still on the tractor, and he's loving it. As a matter of fact, his doctors, everybody says, keep doing what you're doing. Keep busy, keep your mind activated, and you'll live a long life. He wants to work till he's 100 years old, he said. That's his goal. And, at one time I used to get a little bit aggravated to see him work as hard as he does. You know what? Now I'm very proud, because you know what? I know it keeps him going. His life, his love of the land is keeping him going. And he looks around, he sees a lot of his friends have passed away, they're retired, and they withered away. But,
Yes, yeah, he gets that fulfillment every day.
you know, he's got something to look forward to. I mean, and you know, he's very proud. He sees that what I've done, and now his grandchildren are following up what his father started. So, you know, it's 3 active generations in this business today, and I know he's very proud. If my grandparents are here today, I know they would be very proud. My father always says, you know, you got open space, you can always farm it, but if you got rocks, ledge, woods, it's hard to farm that land. That's where you put the houses. You don't spoil open space land to put houses on, because that's where this country was built at. When settlers came to this country, they were farmers. And a lot of people forget, that's what built this country.